Hi everyone, welcome to another podcast. HQ Josh here with HQ Ken, HQ Eddy, and our regional champion special guest, Spencer.
Hi everyone. Thanks for having me today.
Yeah, how's it going today, guys?
What's
Hey,
good, guys?
Spencer.
Thanks for joining us. This is going to be fun.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
Talk some Shadow Army. Let's
Yeah,
go.
for sure.
Yes, sir.
So the
All four of
first
us
UA
topped.
deck to come back-to-back regional first. What do you guys think? Best deck in format?
Um.
Well, we know Spencer's opinions on that one, but
Best deck. I mean, I think it's like tier 2.5, right? Like just barely.
yeah, I mean pushing tier two. I'm not sure. maybe
Yeah.
maybe we'll get the top spot over Saito in tier two this in the next few lists.
Yeah, this deck isn't really too good,
Before we dive
I
too
remember
deeply into
when.
that stuff, I was just gonna Spencer, what's your background in competitive card games in general?
Oh, um, I play lots of competitive card games. I talked about this a little bit before too on other channels, but the week before I won the regional, I was in California for Shadowverse, and then the week before I was playing like a local regional, pretty much, so like 100 people for Star Wars Unlimited. So, and I used to play Flesh and Blood. I used to play Magic. When I was a kid, I played Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
My parents
Yeah.
drove me when I was like 13, 12. They drove me to different states like a few
Nice.
times to play some big tournaments. So,
Wow. Very
I've been playing card
supportive.
games a long time. Yeah.
That's sick. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, similar for me. Story for me. I was Yu-Gi-Oh as a small child. Did a little bit of the regionals again in high school, and then moved into Magic, like I think most people do as they evolve past Yu-Gi-Oh. What about you, Ken?
Yeah, so I've been playing competitive card games for quite a while. I started playing Magic 1996, so I'm an old guy. Um, I have some regional qualifiers, made day two of Pro Tour, some GP tops, not first place, unfortunately. But yeah, big in the competitive Magic scene. I've played almost every card game that's come out, though. Yu-Gi-Oh when it first came out. I played Pokemon Original, Union Arena, Gundam, you name it. I've played One Piece. So yeah.
Eddy?
Oh, for me, it all started with, Yu-Gi-Oh. I was a kid. I really liked the anime. I was like, man, this is sick as hell. And I always wanted to get into like, cards, but I couldn't like I was a kid, so I couldn't afford to like buy any. Now that I'm older, like I got back into Yu-Gi-Oh. I got like priced out because, Yu-Gi-Oh drops a ban list, you spend half a band on a deck and then they drop a ban list and then the next week it's all gone. It's all gone. And I got into One Piece and then One Piece had the same issue. Like I got really into One Piece. Like I wanted to, compete and stuff. But then, UP Luffy came out and like I got priced out. Then I got into Union Arena and this one really stuck. I have managed to not get priced out.
You're
So
gonna
here
price
I
other
am.
people out on Shadow Army now.
Yep, yeah, that's what I'm doing. I
Yeah,
priced myself out
yeah.
actually.
Well, yeah, you and Spencer combined, right?
Uh,
But
The
speaking of
deck is
Shadow
pretty
Army,
cheap without the shiny stuff.
oh yeah, it is true. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's attainable at least.
Yeah. Until recently, I felt like most decks were like really cheap in Union Arena. I tell my friends
yeah.
Yeah.
like, 20 bucks to build a deck. If it's like tier one, maybe it's like 50 bucks. Um, those days have changed a little bit, but still pretty cheap
Yeah,
comparatively.
I think yeah,
Yeah, Shadow
everything prior to
Army.
EVA was definitely, even some of the best decks were below 50, but since
Yeah.
then it's
With
gotten
the
a little bit
exception of the
pricier.
binder cards, yeah,
Oh
everything
well,
was
Yeah.
yeah,
easily
was
attainable. Yeah.
wasn't counting
That's
Binder
kind of when it
Toshi, but
started.
That's
Yeah.
right.
I mean, Spear was like $60 for the entire deck.
well,
That was
not
pretty
when it
good.
launched though, but
Oh, yeah, it was like what, $18 a spear, and that was really the only SR you were playing. It's
yeah,
not
that's
bad.
true. I mean, I guess it was
Yeah.
just that everyone's scrambling to pick them up for Nats. They were a little pricey there,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, speaking of Shadow Army, I mean, so this is like the Shadow Army universe right here. This is, I think, ever
Or Nats
almost okay,
qualifiers.
barring a few people that we haven't spoken to from the last regional. This is like every single person who stopped with Shadow Army. So
Mm-hmm.
So how
And
did
what
we
do you
all?
think?
Yeah, go ahead,
What do
Ken.
you think
Yeah.
the meta is looking like for Shadow Army?
Now or for the future?
I mean, currently, it seems like it's
Currently?
doing really well. Um, Not a ton of terrible matchups out there. All of them seem kind of winnable. I still think the Kenshin matchup's a little bit tough. And we'll get into some of our deck choices and how Sakamoto affected that. But I mean, you three play Shadow Army at a competitive level. What deck are you scared of seeing as Shadow Army, if any?
Um, yeah, I like to take this one first.
Go for it.
I think there is no deck I really fear other than a potential Kenshin high roll or just like a very good Kenshin player because I feel like against like any other deck, I think like I'll be fine as long as I see my pieces, right? Like most of the times I lose is because I don't see some 12 drops or I don't see like enough shadows. But against like a Kenshin high roll, I feel like I'll just be dead before like I get a chance to
Relife
play like
before you get your turn 3 type stuff. Yeah.
yeah, exactly. Like they'll put me like at 4 life, 3 life by their turn 3, and I just won't be able to do anything about it.
And I definitely think that was more prevalent in our previous version of Shadow, which is the one that Josh topped with, in the classic "do your worst"
Yeah,
strategy, as
yeah,
we
yeah,
call
yeah.
it, where we
Where
build
Spencer
energy for
Spencer had
2
a very
turns.
different strategy though. So
Yeah.
Spencer, you've never really feared the Genshin matchup. So I wonder, other than potentially a good yellow girls player, what do you worry about when you play Shadow?
Yeah, I've never. I always kind of like playing against Kenshin because I feel like it's really rare they're like super good with the deck. I feel like a lot of the Kenshin players just rely on you just not understanding how to properly do things. And I had some pretty good local players play Kenshin. With at least one of them made top 16 at Nats, but Deimos made top 8 with Kenshin, and I practiced into him a lot. So I had some really good Kenshin partners. So when he played like a normal person at a regional, it was a lot easier. Man, the match I fear the most is definitely the mirror. Those are just awful. Um,
I forgot to
even
mention that. Yeah.
yeah, like I usually like to say like the better player usually wins, and that's still true. But it's the percentages are really close in the mirror, and yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the deck's really good against itself. I think it's like the way to say it. So
Yeah.
don't want to play that matchup. There's some like off meta stuff. If they're like you said it already, if they're a really good yellow Ava player, I'm not like gonna enjoy that matchup too much. But most players aren't, so I'm not like too nervous when I sit down against the yellow Ava. Purple Kagura, not the list, the purity list, the other one, the raid one that just like kills your entire board.
Oh
Oh
yeah.
yeah. That matchup's like unwinnable. I have a local player who plays it, and I was like, God, I hope no one ever brings this to a regional. It's pretty bad.
I'm surprised no one has,
Um,
but I guess yeah.
I mean, I don't know what else it's good into, but it's really good into army. Like, it just kills your whole board with one raid. It's pretty dumb. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, I
but
guess
I don't know.
personally,
There's
I
like,
would. Oh, go ahead.
oh no, yeah, there's just like some off meta stuff. I think Jeju Island, or just green soul leveling in general, needs to get a lot more play. And if I think I think it has some pretty good matchups actually. I think it's really good in the Red Kagura. I think it's good in the Army. I think it's good in the Mill. Um,
Is that what you
I
would play in a rare battle?
yeah, I would. Yeah, you guys are like no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to play mirrors. Like
Yeah.
I don't know. I would
Yeah.
actually be fine playing Army into Green Jeju.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like I have a lot of reps myself into it. I wouldn't like hate it. But I think if the Green Jeju player is like really good, I think it is unfavored for sure. And yeah, I'd rather play a Green Jeju mirror than a Shadow Army mirror.
And we did
That
we
makes
did
sense.
all see your rare battle guide for solo leveling, so that was a very that one got a lot of views. People, you're giving the tech out to everyone.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, with only
Yeah.
8 people being able to compete, you definitely want to use every advantage you can to try and get that top, especially with the price of those cards right now.
Yeah.
It's
Let me
silly.
tell you, I've been on my rare battle grind. I've been hunting, and the mirror has been awful. So
Yeah,
bad.
Josh will tell you about it from the regional.
No, no, I don't. Wait, I'll say it, but I got
He doesn't
Quadra
want to relive
Special,
it.
this Quadra Special down to life, and they saw 312 drops, and I still got them to 1 life. It was traumatic. It was traumatic, but it's in the past now. I guess the only other contender for decks that I don't necessarily like running into is Mari Spear. I mean, and I think it's fine on average. I just worry about the when they're doing a high roll Mari early, and I don't have if I can't immediately raid and snipe that out the following turn, and that can get out of control. It can be very hard to deal with. But
Especially if
Hmm.
paired with a special so that they can remove your whole board.
yeah.
Now they have a
Yeah.
45. You're not getting through easily with anything unless you see a Monarch domain. Yeah, I definitely see that the Mari Spear too. And once the 5K start hitting the board, if you don't have your 12s, it gets bad fast.
That's just kind of true with the deck in general. If you don't see your 12s, it's an uphill battle.
We
Yeah.
didn't talk about Saito. I don't really like playing against Saito that
Oh
much
yeah,
either.
fully on board with you there. Um,
Yeah.
I'm
The
not sure I
four
wanted
drop
to
rate is
put that
so
out in the world. I don't
tough.
need more Saito players, but I mean I'm kind of on the trade, and I think your videos too. I think I just sniped the Nullify at this point. It's he's so
Yeah.
I
annoying.
Get rid of them. Yeah. The more four drops they see, the more favorable the matchup is for them for sure. Not
Yeah,
being
for
able to chunk
sure.
with our little guys, it's part of the
Yeah.
reason that the deck's powerful is we have so much recursion. So that's like red Kenshin, purple Kenshin. They want to keep you off of those bodies so that you can't really get value out of your special trigger.
Yeah, you
Hmm.
just have to play that match a little different. Like you kind of want to be playing the 25s a little bit more up front. A little bit easier now that we're playing more irons in the deck too. But yeah, the null impactor is pretty annoying. You just have to be really ready for the matchup. And so
Yeah,
is
you
the other
gotta
I do
be.
thing.
think that the four irons give us a way better matchup into that as well, just because
Yeah.
it blocks the 25, it swings through on the way back, so that's an easy. They're either losing a body, losing a life, so you can kind of ping them off. Um, I know Josh was originally way lower on iron. Maybe we should
Yeah,
talk about that. Why we
yeah.
went to the iron wall.
Yeah, I mean, so for I know that Spencer was always on the multiple irons. Then you went up, you even went up to 3, I think, on your in your winning list, correct?
Mm.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I was originally on 1 only because the strategy that I first found felt the best was just set up your double energy on turn 2 going second and just have your opponent do their worst, and then you could always raid on the way back and just hit them for 5, and it just felt pretty unlosable from there. And the only problem with that matchup with that strategy was Kenshin, because you could get smacked in the face too many times on their turn 3. um, but the reason I personally switched, and I guess the whole team kind of, in combination was experiencing the same thing, was just Sakamoto was another similar matchup where they could just hit you for too many life on that turn 3, and so we kind of just felt we needed to go first. Okay, but then when you
A
go
double
first, what are
power
you
raid
what
just
are you
kind of.
doing on turn 3 going first? And it was okay. Well, now I have turn 2 I can play the iron, turn 3 I can push up, and it just felt a lot smoother. So that's how that came about on our end.
And I see Spencer also converted over to the four Monarchs domains. I definitely think that card is absolutely busted. And in the games where you see it, your win percentage definitely jumps up quite a bit. Tell us a little bit about how you ended up on the four Monarch domains.
Oh, me? I mean, maybe my first list had 2, but at the my top 8 had 3 in there. Um, I felt like it was really strong, but I didn't want to see like a lot of them. Like I would sometimes get mad when I saw like multiple copies or like copied all 3. Especially like when you're playing Beru in the deck. Like I like did not need them together. Like it wasn't a name for Biru, and it wouldn't like I couldn't play it that turn to add an additional name. So it was a little clunky. But as soon as you take the Biru out, there's like no problems there. And because you're losing the 4K, you definitely want to create more 4Ks. So then you do want a double domain. And then so the kind of philosophy of the whole like deck switched. And I've said this before, I think there is a time and a place where maybe Biru like can exist in the meta. It's just like not this one. I think Shadow
It's
Army
too
wants to
slow.
be the fast aggressive deck when going into the matchup. So
Yeah, I
Especially
mean,
with our current
did it hurt
meta.
you to take out the beers? I know you love that guy.
yeah, especially when they're shiny,
Yeah. You're like, no, not my shiny cards.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I
I had the
Yeah, where's
foresight.
our alt art Monarch domain?
Yeah,
uh,
for
Where's
real.
that?
I had the foresight of like not believing in Biru from the start, so I was like, I'm not buying this card.
Uh,
I
um,
remember the
yeah.
first time that I played against Josh in our private testing channel on the HQ Discord. Which, if anybody ever wants to play against these guys, come on down. We'll link the Discord as well. But I built Milwoo right off the bat, and I was like, man, this deck looks crazy. And I was cooking with it. I was doing great. And then I played against Josh with the Shadow Army deck, and I was like, what is this? 'Cause I had played against a couple people at locals, especially at the release events and whatnot, who had built Shadow Army, but they were running a bunch of Genwoos, so they weren't seeing their raids as early, or if ever, if they were able to successfully raid that target. And I wasn't, people were not playing the full 12 of the Shadow Soldiers, which I think is one of the most busted cards in the deck. It adds so much consistency. The draw trigger, I mean, everything about it is great. So I hadn't really like thought about the deck. I was steamrolling it with the force block Genwoos so that they never had the names that they could have. And then I played against Josh and I was like, yo, what is this? And I built the deck the same day. I was like,
Yeah.
I gotta get on this.
And from
And
that point on, Ken and I were working on the deck together, but
yeah, and our only real issue was Kenshin, and it was like, man, the Kenshin high roll is just so scary, and they have every piece to deal with our board. Like the bottom decking, so now you can't recur. They've got the pushback, so now your guys aren't in the sideline. It messes up your energy line, which is one of the most important things. That was when it felt, oh man, I have
Winnable.
2 Monarch domains in the back, and now I have to either raid I have to push back over one of those or one of my only characters I can push up.
and you could
So, like,
always
that
deal with the
always felt
board, but
bad.
then you had to battle through their life, and it was just like, how many push catches do they have?
Yeah, exactly. And the color trigger, if you don't have a Monarch's domain early, like, the color trigger is active on a lot of our targets. So, yeah, no, it was just a tough matchup. And uh, through the evolution of the deck and also people just being less on Kenshin, which I'll take a poll on that. Do you guys think that Kenshin is any worse in this matchup, or do you think that it's just players now know how to play against Kenshin, so it's not seeing the same level of consistency it was before, where it's like half the top 16 is Kenshin?
Spencer?
Oh, me. I think there's just like a lot less people on Kenshin, uh, in general, right? Like, so there's gonna just be less tops with it, especially since people seem to be moving towards like the new spice. I think that army is favored in Kenshin if you're going first, and I think that they're favored if they go first. Probably only slightly. Like I said, I enjoy the matchup. I'm probably like 65-35 going first, and maybe like 45-55 going second. So I feel like I like the matchup, but just have a ton of reps, and you play against it really funky, like just not the same as you play against
Like
everything
placing a
else.
double energy to the front to
Yeah,
hope they
Just
push
the
yeah,
it
like
back
crazy
or
stuff, like
whatever
yeah.
leaving spots open and just doing things that you would never ever do. Uh,
against any other deck.
but
Yeah.
yeah, but you just
Yeah.
yeah, as long as
Playing the
you
double
yeah.
energy in the front and then praying they don't have Ulti Boy. I've done that more than once.
So
And do you think that Kenshin's any worse in this meta, or do you think that it's just player fatigue, or maybe, you know, just the new spice?
yeah, I think that Kenshin is not great against snipe decks, and
Mm,
all these decks are right now that are good play snipe. Like I
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
or just like on attack kill, but there's a lot of snipe going around. Like right, there's like 3 competitive snipe decks, which is a
yeah.
lot. So
And
I don't
everything
know.
else is 8 removal, and they don't like losing their
Yeah.
Kenshin names, so yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's girls, Shu, um,
Milwoo.
Chihiro, Melwu.
Millwood, I feel like is very favored into Kenshin. That's a matchup I usually like to see if I'm playing that deck.
Yeah,
yeah,
I
Kenshin is just
agree.
knocked into the solo link decks at all.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know how it is against green. I haven't played that matchup
That's true. Yeah,
before,
I haven't been
but
leveling up.
Oh, no, I like the Jeju Island matchup.
Uh,
It feels pretty good.
against
It's
Kenshin, it's
just
still fine.
even though you're not like getting the value of like returning them to hands, like the deck's really good at keeping stuff open in the back, and you're just super aggressive. Like you're like Kenshin doesn't want to block either, and you're like here's four attacks,
Mm.
like you know what I mean.
Mhm.
So you just kind of do what they're doing, but like more consistently, and you don't need Kenshin names and you can just
And yeah,
remove
you
the
have less
bodies.
raids, so your bodies are a little more valuable. You don't lose 2 whenever something gets specialed.
Yeah, and when you do
Yeah.
raid out of life though, and you like, you neg 1,000 their board, you just
Yeah.
like sometimes turn off their entire turn. They're not
Yeah,
swinging with
turn off the entire
5Ks.
turn.
Yeah.
As a Gawain
Yeah, I
lover,
was just say
I'm
going
a
out of
huge
life.
fan. I'm a huge fan. Nice.
Yeah.
All right. So I think with the reduction in Kenshin that we've been seeing, was the reason that, a lot of us decided this is the meta. This is finally the time we're going to play some Shadow. Spencer did it right before we were in Florida. And it's like, okay, cool. We know Shadow Army's a deck. I mean, B tier, but, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
but it has a favorable matchup into most things. And your low roll is still rather good. Like I played a Milwoo round 2 and he saw everything. Double special out of life, double 4-drop rate out of life, color trigger active, saw all 5 or sorry, all 4 5 drops and then elixired a fifth one. Saw 2 more of the raid 4 drops. I didn't see a single 12-drop Jinwoo and I was still able to take that game because of a Kaisel sneak, which, you put all 4Ks on your front line, and here comes Kaisel. So,
Hmm.
I mean, the deck just seems resilient, especially into heavy removal formats. I think, that's where the deck really strives, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, I agree. Unless they're playing like Byakuya level removal, where it's like 1K across the whole board, you know?
Mm, remove 3
I
bodies with 2 cards
Yeah,
and stuff like
remove
that.
3 bodies with 2 cards. Unless it's like that, I don't think like it has a bad matchup. And even then, depending on like if you have like specials in hand, like you can come back from like 3 cards getting blown up on your field.
Or if you're Spencer, you just block them all, every single one.
Yeah.
Yep.
When
Got
in
Yeah,
four
doubt,
guys
block
off
it
the
out.
field. That means I got 4
Block.
blockers.
Ooh.
Oh, man.
So going
Nice.
forward into the meta now, I mean, Spencer, I know you haven't done too much Sakamoto testing, but does Sakamoto change your outlook on Shadow or anything else in the format?
Like you said, I haven't done too much testing, but no, I think Army plays fine into Sakamoto. Um, I I'm gonna be less likely to play it. I'm going to California. I just don't want to play mirrors.
Yeah.
But I really like the deck, like you guys said. Like it feels really resilient. My list plays at 13-0 because I hate bricking. So like I just like I said, it feels consistent, hard to die. I feel like you get to play a game of Union Arena every time and make a lot of decisions, which is really nice. It's not a reason why I like Yellow Ava. I feel like similar, but you break on Yellow Ava sometimes. So
Yeah,
Yeah, when
yeah.
you have that many 4 drops, it's kind
yeah,
of tough.
definitely.
And so you run the 2-drop false 0 in place of one of the 1-drop Jinwoos, is that right?
it just ups
And
your
do you
trigger
find
count,
oh,
and it makes the drawing double Jinwoo problem like less of a problem, I guess, because he could push up and actually attack. So I like the 1 drop is crazy, and like you do want to see it. I just you don't want to draw 2 of them, right? And so if I'm gonna draw 2 of a card, I'd rather it be like the fake 0 and the 1. Um, and it still filters, and now it's a trigger, and it's a 2K. I just feel like it hit a lot of marks, and it feels really weird when you look at it, like why is it just a one of?
Yeah.
But it just made like a lot of sense to me. So if I was still playing the deck, that would still be I'd still do the 2-1 split.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I really like that idea when I first saw like your list and I saw you were playing like 1 2 drop. I was like, wow, that's fire because you replace the one of the 1 drops with the trigger. I'm just not brave enough to do it because I really value consistency. So if I'm like, if I'm going through a game and like assuming I had a regional and I only had like 1 drop, and in that scenario where I had replaced it with a 2 drop, like if that was the 2 drop and I had nothing to raid, I would hate myself for it forever, and I would hate the card
It
I
too.
had
comes
a
out
much
of life,
lesser
you hit
version
an
of
active
that.
trigger and you're like,
Uh,
man, I wish that was a
yeah, I mean,
1-drop so I
there's
could
obviously
hit and
has its
grab it.
arguments in the other direction. I was just so testing bias when I was trying it for a few days, and every single time I wanted to pitch my Egress from my hand with it, I'm like, I can't get rid of my Egress.
I mean, it
Yeah.
does give you the ability to filter off the top of your deck, so it can
Yeah,
help,
it can't
especially
help in the other. Yeah,
sideboarding
I mean,
against.
there's definitely
Hmm.
situations where it is better. I'm just being doomer pilled in the moment. It was like, no, my Egress, but
Yeah. And I do use that. Even if I'm not going to play the one drop, sometimes I will use it just to return to hand to set up that
Mm.
Shadow Monarch so that I can get exactly what I wanted from the sideline. Because Egress costs 2 AP. If I can pitch him and play him for 1, then, I might do that and potentially open up a raid.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
one drop is really
pretty
broken.
good.
Just being able to like cycle it every turn too. There's games where you don't see the 12, and then so I'm just like playing the one to my front line, and then just like
Yep.
trying to churn through my deck as fast
Mhm.
as possible. So the card is crazy.
Yeah. Do you
I
feel you
wanted
see
one more
it enough at
zero.
2?
What's up?
You
To
feel like you
the
see it enough at 2?
yeah. Yeah, I mean
The
you go
one
through
drop?
so much of your deck and you don't like need the card. It's not like that card's like necessary to win any game. Right? You just need the pair. So
Yeah. If you see the 3 drop, you're okay.
yeah.
Mhm.
Speaking of cycling, I mean, it was partly a Sakamoto answer, but we also, you kind of, on speaking of cycling, you kind of sold me on going to 3 Tusk as well with how often you were cycling, even just in our match. So,
Yeah, it's the draw discard is super relevant. Especially when they hit like an active trigger mid attack and you're like, oh sick. Like I
yeah,
didn't even want to do damage to you.
yeah,
I wanted to discard
yeah.
anyway.
I,
Thanks.
I find like that's what I'm most often doing. It is like, oh, the attack's not getting through anyways, so I guess I'll just get a card. Thanks. Yeah.
I do
Yeah.
find that with the increase in Tusk, because I was on a 4-1, 4 Kaiser 1 Tusk flip originally, and
Me too.
when Sakamoto came out, I found that just the sheer number of 2Ks, if I don't see a Monarch domain, that Tusk is allowing me to get a lot more attacks through. So, like, yes, I can filter, but also if I'm getting 1 extra damage, then that AP was 100% worth it,
Yeah.
Getting that attack through, I feel like, is so critical in this meta because if you fall behind in Shadow Army, it's a little bit tougher. But I feel like if you're ahead, it's so hard for your opponent to come back because now they have to block.
Yeah.
And that's really the strength of the deck is just putting your opponent on forcing them to block or take an insane number of damage every turn.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you force your opponent to block, and then you also force them to answer your board, and then on your clapback, they kind of have to pray that you ran out of gas, you know?
Well, the joke
And
would also be,
people
oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. And people don't like practice blocking, if that makes sense. They
Yeah.
usually like do their thing, and then they let their opponent
Pray
do their
life bails
thing,
them out.
and then they do their thing again, and they're like,
Yeah.
oh man, I didn't get to do my thing enough times. That's why I lost. Or I got double special. But I think if people practice like how much can they push their deck without like anything on the field every turn, um, I just feel like people do not block enough,
Yeah.
and that favors Shadow Army like so high. Like it's also like that is good against how players play the game.
Yeah, the
I,
greed.
Mhm.
yeah, I was gonna make the literal
This
same joke
life
as
is
what.
gonna be something good.
I was making the same
No
joke.
trigger, son
No,
of a.
no one blocks in this game.
Yeah, I mean, especially like I think you were talking about it yesterday when we were chatting that like people will have a full board and they'll take that 1 damage just to see, and it's like you don't even have an ability to spend all of your APs next turn. Why didn't you block? But I don't want to ask them that because hey, I'm getting a free damage through. And I think you said at the regional someone did that and they hit the color trigger and they're like, oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, sadness.
Which
Uh,
for us, I mean, I look at the board. I'm like, do I have a color target? Do I have space? No, a block.
yeah.
Now we're set up.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
even look. I'm
Always
like
play around
block,
color.
block.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously nuance. Like if you don't have a full board and you have you're counting for your number to be able to raid next turn. There's nuance to it, but in general, people just do not block enough.
Yeah.
Yeah,
With Shadow, it's a game of leverage, how much can you give and how much can you get back? You'll always consider that when I'm blocking.
And I think that we really benefit from having the sheer number of draw triggers we have. So if they are removing your board, if they are swinging impact, if they're getting by you, most of the time it's filling up your hand again. And I
Yeah,
feel like
dude.
that is another part that kind of lends to the power of the deck is, minimum 12 draw triggers. It's just
Yeah, I've never valued draw trigger before,
Mhm.
and then I started playing this deck, and I'm like, this is just the best trigger ever.
I feel like especially more I've always been on the blocking train, but the one deck where I'm like I'm gonna might take more than I will is Sakamoto because when I'm getting shinned, I'm like, please, I need my cards back.
true. That
but
is
that's a
tough.
lot of get
And
triggers too. So
yeah.
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 I
Pretty
was
much what you
playing
guys
the
said.
hybrid Sakamoto pretty hard when we were testing for the Florida Regional, and that was one of the major things that really led to the 4 irons. Is that deck is always going to push a 2K on you at least once, if not twice, within the first 2 turns. So um, I think Iron being able to go Shadow, Iron just keeps them from wanting to push up, because if they're not going to get that damage, so it's like, okay, well, I can leave it in the back. When, I mean, a lot of us would probably go, even though I'm not getting this attack through, I'm going to push this up and get more bodies on the board. So that way I'm not wasting a turn just like raiding when there's no value in it. And now that card's just going to get removed. I'm going to lose 2 cards. Whereas, the people that value, oh, I can't get in, I'm just going to extra draw and play 2 or something like that. It's just going to really work in our advantage.
Yeah.
And I know it worked for me at the regional. Whenever I saw Iron on curve, turn 2 Iron to the front, it was, I mean, I won every one of those games, I guess. I only lost one to, I low rolled against Yellow Sakamoto, and, you know, uh, Vocals is a really quality
Two legit vocals, right?
professional
Yeah, the
player. So,
third
like,
placer. Yeah.
that's not a person you want to low roll against. And my first swing was Shin out of life, so now I'm set back another turn, and I'm already looking for a double gen. And my only double gen is, the 3-drop Genwu double energy, and I've got 4 of them. And I'm like, okay, well, this is not looking good.
Well, this was a game.
Yeah, right. It does happen, but the Yellow Sakamoto deck, it does have a lot of power, especially quickly, I think. If you see those early skinny Sakamotos, it puts so much pressure on the board that even as shadow players, you might end up blocking more than you want to. Um, and I mean, I know you probably haven't run into this deck as much, but it definitely lent us to shifting to the 4 irons because of the fact that there were just so many 2Ks that were pushing up on you.
Especially because we were testing
And
against Pure Store as well, not just Hybrid. In Pure Store, you really, really need it. It's all 2Ks.
yeah,
Mhm.
and I mean, they do have the 3Ks as well, but that's when you sack a Shadow Soldier or something. So like the iron's gonna stop everything smaller, and you can just chump out most of the other things. They do have the snipe on the high ski that they can get impact. They do have the impact for the 1 turn that skinny comes down, but for the most part, you can kind of play around that, especially if you see your tanks, which another card I feel like is an MVP in the deck. It's just perfectly statted, slotted, and it has nullify impact. It's like, oh man, I'd run 8 of these potentially.
Well, Spencer, if you want some hybrid practice, Ken's a great person. He's not a matchup you've done a lot, so if you want some, Ken's got you. But
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I finally like because I went to Japan and so now I got my boxes and I've opened them and I have all the decks.
nice.
So I'm gonna get a lot more playtesting.
Yeah.
I play against myself sometimes. I'll
Yep.
just set up 2 decks, run some
Goldfish.
games. Yeah,
Mm.
not even goldfish. Like literally put the 2 decks and like actually play a game. I know it
Oh yeah.
sounds weird, but I actually encourage it to other people. It helps you learn a lot. And some people are like, "Isn't it weird? You're playing with like perfect information. Like that's perfect. Like can you beat the deck that when it knows exactly what you're gonna do at all times, right? So um, that's how you know your deck is good enough. You
That
can beat
exact
yourself with it.
testing is how I decided. That exact method of your testing is exactly how I decided originally with that the Kenshin matchup was cursed for Shadow. I don't know if it was partly because of the knowledge, but I just kept beating myself with Kenshin over and over again, and I'm like, this is so bad. I hate this. I'm beating myself over and over again.
Oh, that's funny. Kenshin does a lot better with information too. You're
Yeah,
like, oh,
that's
I don't
true.
have to right
Yeah.
Yeah.
here. Oh, I could
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
slow. Oh,
It's
I need
like
to be fast right here.
exactly. Yeah.
I
So
definitely do the same thing, but I try and pretend I don't know
yeah. Well,
what
it's
either hand
impossible,
is.
right? Yeah.
And well,
Yeah.
I mean, yes, but at the same time, you have to look at the information you have and be like, if this was my hand, how would I play it?
Yeah.
And go back and forth and try and play against yourself that way. I mean, the perfect information thing is a good point though, because with things like Shen, where you can see your opponent's hand, now does that information change the way you play? Probably does.
Yeah. And it helps you as like a player too. Like if you do this with like your favorite deck and you just own a lot of decks and you play against, 10 decks and you do this method, like you start almost seeing your opponent's hand. Like you know their plays. You're like, I've done
Yeah.
this myself. Like I've been in this situation. Like I can imagine he has these cards. All right, so how do I want to play? Like you've actually practiced it,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
feels
My
good.
friends start getting annoyed when I play out their whole turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start
Right.
I do
predicting
the
their
same thing.
actions.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
okay, so now you're gonna do this and then this
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
that, right? And they're like, well,
Uh,
actually, I'm gonna do exactly what you just said.
yeah.
It's like, yeah, I know. I
Ken
Yeah.
Ken
played
says
that
them all
deck.
the time. He's just like, so this, and this. Yeah.
Yeah, you just play out their whole turn, and then they be like, "Yo, be quiet, man."
And that's the difference you'll see when you got four caliber players like us sitting here and, some of the other people who don't have as much experience playing different decks outside their own. Um, just knowing what your opponent's trying to do gives you that extra advantage when you're trying to make your decisions. I feel like it's the difference in caliber of coming in top 64 versus coming in top 16 versus winning. It's just how much reps, how much time have you spent learning all the lines that are possible and then the ways to disrupt them.
I will say,
I agree.
Spencer's list was everywhere in Florida. I'm looking at every table,
Everywhere.
and I'm like, well, at least I know what cards he has access to.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
Yeah,
true.
I did.
that
I
is
when I
true.
checked when I checked the top 32, I think like all the lists were like 0 to 2 cards off or
Yeah.
something. So I think your guys' list is only, and not saying copy. There's only 2 cards off though. I think right. It was like one more iron
Right. Yeah. I mean,
and
definitely
then
it
One
one more
more
was.
one drop.
final.
Yeah, because
Yeah,
yeah,
Yeah.
it was definitely within a few cards because it's just we had a different opinion on the third one, seventh Jinwoo target, and then the finals, right? And then even
and then yeah,
Eddie was
which
almost Eddie was one card off you, I think. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah.
Because you played
So
three
This,
finals as
Yeah.
well, right?
yeah.
yeah, because I was on 3 finals, which I could see going down to 2. If I
Yeah.
wanted that fourth iron, that's probably what I do. I think I like playing 3 Igris still.
Yeah.
I
We
like seeing
still
that
play
card.
three
Yeah,
Egrets
that
too.
was what Ken and I were on that exact. Yeah.
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 Oh
So
yeah, you two are on the double final.
the double
Yeah.
final
Yep,
three
double
years.
final three
Yeah. I
Egrets.
Four
was on
iron.
2 Egris. To be
Yeah.
honest, with so many iron, sometimes you don't need the Egris, to be honest. But it feels nice, get the 4K and then brings out. It's like your best play off Monarch, depending on context, of course. So
The
it
active
just it
attacker, plus you can
yeah,
Yeah.
rescan the shadow with a
yeah,
raid.
restand the shadow. But it never felt like I was missing too much.
Well, all your matches on your match on stream, you just had both of them anyways, so yeah, it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Pretty good,
Just
pretty
just
good.
draw them.
Yeah,
Play
yeah,
one,
just draw
just
them
draw
easy.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Why didn't
Yeah,
I mean, it's always that way with the finals. You just have three of them in hand. You play three, you draw three. That's how it goes.
It's literally every game. I don't know what's wrong with
mhm,
that card.
yeah,
I don't know. We were playtesting yesterday, and even with just the two arises, it felt like it always came up when I needed it to. I mean, yeah, a couple times it was in life, but if you're
Yeah.
running more copies, it's going to be in there even more. So, like, it is what it is. But
Back to
Yeah,
back
when I
um,
play
back to back games, he arose double 12 drop me. I'm like, okay, this is fun.
when you play less
yeah.
finals,
Yeah, go
I
ahead,
feel like you
Spencer.
can save them.
Yeah.
When you play like a lot of finals, like 3 or 4 with the deck, I feel like you have to
you
just
have to
use
save
it.
them.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you have to extra draw and do it. I think I did it in my last match. Like I did not need to extra draw there, but I was like, I don't want this final by hand. Like I need this to
Yep.
be
Yeah.
literally any other
Need-
card because if I draw a second final, I'm gonna like lose the game. So I just like was
Yes.
like extra draw, play the final. All right, it's gone. We're good.
Yeah. And that's where
Mhm,
it's
But
like you play the shadow and you see two finals on top of your deck. You're like, I lost. This
yeah,
is not good.
yeah.
literally,
I remember
Need some draw triggers.
I played Shadow, and then my top two was double special. Yeah, and I lost that game.
Oh, man.
I
Too
lost
funny.
that game.
You only lost one on the weekend, though. Was that the game you lost, or is that a different one?
No, no, no. This is for a
Oh,
rare
that was.
battle.
Oh, okay,
Got
okay, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, this is a rare battle that I lost where my opponent played 3 Jinwoos and I played 0 in
Yeah.
finals. And then I dropped from first to fourth place. So I got a whole bunch of nothing.
Yeah, good job.
Yeah.
you got that participation card.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
Hopefully it was
did.
a
I did.
Yahiko.
So, whole bunch of something.
Yeah.
Or a gold 3-drop Jinmu. That'd be hot, too.
That's not too bad.
Yeah.
So go,
No, the
yeah.
gold Jinwoo has evaded me.
So going forward, where do
So
we guys see in the meta going forward? Do we think Slime's gonna make any splash or anything? Yeah.
I
Okay.
like the slime cards, personally.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
I
think
think some genius out there, maybe Ken, is gonna cook up a real good slime
Or
list.
Spencer.
Or Spencer. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know how hyped he was for
Are you a
slime.
slime
I just
fan as
made the
well?
You
assumption.
didn't see him shaking his head yes like fervently during the.
I was
No,
like,
I was looking away. Sorry.
uh,
I don't love the anime, but I like it and I watch it and I watched it twice, so I like it enough. Yeah, I think the deck has pretty high floor like across the board for like I feel like there's gonna be like a lot of tier two type decks that you can play. And I do think it has a couple tier one decks, especially in our meta. So I do expect to see. Well, I expect it to do well
Right.
in California. I don't know how many people are playing it, just because it's gonna be
So
like
new.
what 2 weeks? Yeah, new 2 weeks out. Like you can't build it like Japan's building it. If people try to copy their list, it's different, especially since we got the new cards. And like 2 sets in 1's a lot to work with for people. Like there's a
Yeah.
lot of cards in front of you when building a deck.
And probably harder to get the cards too.
Yeah,
You're
just
gonna
you
have
have to
to buy
open so
more
many
Yeah,
packs
for
to get
boxes.
sure.
enough. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, with 6 SRs in a box, and then you're juggling like what 16
4
SRs
colors too.
through 4 colors. It's gonna be rough.
The joke would be you don't really want the green colors. You're fine. uh,
So I know, at least for me, the current meta for Union Arena, I feel like it's the healthiest it's been. I mean, these are some of the sweatiest regionals we've had to date, in my opinion. There's so many viable decks and so many people playing different things that, making these meta calls like we did with Shadow Army into the current meta, I think is going to continue to get more and more difficult just as more viable decks come out. So I think that, you know, having a team, having a group of people that are brainstorming together, thinking about different things outside the box is really going to help push us forward into a new meta where we're going to see even more decks. But I know a lot of people are curious, and I think we should start this discussion. What do we think beats Shadow? Where are we going next? I don't know if we want to reveal it yet, but um, is there anything you guys want to say about what you're thinking for next? I know Spencer said he's going to California. He doesn't want to play his Infinite Mirrors because, like I said, round one in Florida, I sat across from basically your list. I'm pretty sure I'm not sure which region it was. I didn't see a bureau, but I was sitting across from it. My opponent's name was Sung Jin Woo on the app, and I was like, okay, it's either Mill Woo or it's Shadow Army. Here we go. He was cosplayed up, had the glasses, looked amazing. It was actually really cool. But I looked to my left, I looked to my right. Both tables have Shadow Army next to me, and I'm like, okay, well, this is gonna be an interesting format.
yeah, I mean, for me,
Wait,
I still think Yellow Girls is the best deck in format. If I had to just, switch to one overnight, I think it just has to be, that would probably be the default answer. Um, I need more reps on that deck, but I think, if I put the time on that I did in Shadow Army, I think it's probably still the right choice and probably will remain that way until they hit the deck because it still had the most tops at the last regional and the one before it and the one before that. But that's the obvious answer.
yeah, I think Yellow Eva is still the best deck too. I think it has a really high floor, which makes people realize that it's good. But I also think deck has a really high ceiling as well. And I think most players like don't realize that it has a high ceiling. They think it's just like oops, all luck. But I'm playing the lucky deck, right? Because I can tease my life so efficiently. But I think players should try green soul leveling more. That's like my shout out to try that. I actually think it's really well positioned in the meta. Uh, from my internal testing, I think you're bad into Yellow Eva, but you're pretty good into like everything else. So if you want to
So is that a deck
destroy
you would
some
take to a
people,
regional if you're worried about the Yellow Girls matchup?
I don't know. I expect like Yellow Girls will. I think it's a very popular deck, but it will continue to like see less play as more sets come out, just because people will shift over. But it is a very popular deck. I almost brought it to Illinois. Like it was in new sleeves. It was with me, and I was like, "Am I gonna do it? Is this the time?" I
Your
think it
video
would have
said
been the
you
time
were
though.
gonna do it, but then you didn't.
I know. The time for me to bring Green Soul leveling was the tournament I didn't get to go to because I was in Japan. Like I would
Oh,
have
okay, okay, okay.
100% brought that to Florida, and I think I would have had like a really good time just playing against my own deck
Right.
and be
Yeah.
like, ooh,
Yeah.
Right?
I love this. Yeah. Uh,
yeah.
so you have a
Is there
similar thoughts
anything
on
else on the
Saito
table?
for in terms of it's bad in Yellow Girls. What do you think Saito how it does against the rest of the field?
I don't know. The deck is really consistent, so if you just want to play a consistent tier two deck, then bring sight. Like you are I always think, I mean, some people are gonna hate me for it, but I always think Saito is a tier 2 deck, but it's like very consistent. It's like, some decks operate on like different tiers depending on how you draw. Like Saito's like the same game every time. So you'll just consistently be like a good deck. I just the ceiling on the deck's just not that high. Like
It's kind of boring too, because you do the
it's
same
so
thing
boring.
over and
every
again. Yeah,
single
yeah,
game. There's
yeah.
It
not much
is.
variance. Do I see my fours? Do I see my sixes? Oh, the Kenshin into the push-up, we're good,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I people are gonna bring it. It's not a deck I would like recommend for winning a tournament, though you guys have seen it's come very close lots of
Very
Repeatedly.
close.
times
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mhm.
repeatedly. So maybe I'm wrong about it, but that wouldn't be that in Gaius. I would not bring Gaius to win a tournament either. Like you're gonna lose a round to
There's too much
some reason.
variance in that. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
yeah.
way
I
too much
agree.
variance for the deck.
I
I
only bring up
think
Saito specific. Oh, go ahead, Eddie. Yeah.
I was gonna say I think all the extra raids in Gaius V2 now really just bog it down too much, and now you just get clunked up, and it's just not the same. It's still good, you know. There'll be games where you don't see that variance of like you're sitting with 3 to 4 raids in hand, and now you have to like pray a Todd deck from raiding a spear in order to play a card. But
Little
if I was gonna,
backstory. Eddie and I were both spear players before we switched to Shadow Army. So
yeah,
before the ban, we were both spear players, and yeah, I mean the deck definitely feels different, but the new
yeah,
version is definitely better into Shadow, at
Yeah.
least.
I don't know
The old
about
yeah,
version
winning
the
makes
better,
me
but
run
better.
over it.
yeah.
Yeah,
The Mari
definitely.
special, the Mari special is very good. Mari
Not being able
herself,
to
and
grab it off the Wunder is nice, though.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But yeah, like if I wouldn't bring it because I know in my 8 rounds there's just gonna be one game where
Not
my
gonna see the
hand is gonna
double
get clunked
gems
up.
or
Yeah, and I'm gonna lose, and then I'm gonna get sad.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I
It's
was only bringing
definitely
up
not
Saito.
Shadow.
Yeah, I was only bringing up Saito because it's similar to the Jeju in that it's only a really truly terrible matchup as Yellow Girls, and then it's actually pretty fair and everything else. Um, yeah, so I mean, there is a lot of decks that are if you're willing to risk the Yellow Girls Gauntlet, you can do well with. um, but again, but as we've said repeatedly, there's a lot of mediocre Yellow Girls players out there, and those rules don't really apply when we're talking about them.
Mhm.
Yeah, or just untested. To operate Yellow Girls like very effectively, you need to know what the other person is trying to do, and you know, for
When
all
to use
you
your
really good Yellow
Asuka,
Ava players
when
out
to
there,
hold.
how many like good Jeju Island players have you played?
Ah.
So like, you know, ask
If you
yourself
don't
that
know the
question.
matchup, yeah. I think not knowing the matchup in general is just such a big effect, especially when you're going to a larger tournament and maybe you have nerves or anything like that, and you sit across from a deck you've never seen before, and you have to read every card and be like, well, what is it they're trying to do? Um,
Yeah,
I think that's the
purity.
power of a lot
Yeah,
of
I was thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
new IPs. Like you said, there might not be too many people on Slime in California because it's still new, but we saw a very large number of Sakamoto players in Florida, even though it was only out for a week, basically.
That deck
Um,
has so much hype though. Like
I know.
there's
Yeah,
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 people
yeah,
people were
Yeah.
already
incredible hype.
looking at it for
yeah.
months before the IP dropped. So I definitely think
Mhm.
that has something to do with it. But I think there is
Mhm.
something to be said about trying to catch your opponent off guard versus playing a known deck. Like when we're playing against, like Josh was saying, we're playing against Spencer's list across from us. We're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
we know all the cards in here and we know exactly what they're trying to do. Can we just outplay them? And sometimes it comes down to who sees more 12s, how good is life. But at the same time, as the better player, you at least have a little bit better chance of winning, especially if you know all of your opponent's
Yeah.
cards.
Mhm. Yeah,
Which
and especially if you know like what your opponent's deck does like 100%. For me, when I played in Florida, every single deck I played against, I knew literally like just everything that they wanted to do because I had played it. I played Kenshin, I played Milwoo, I played Sakamoto. I have played Saito on one of the Union Arena sims. So everything they did, I felt like I had like an advantage over my opponent because every card they played, every line that they were trying to get to, like I had already experienced it myself. And then some for them, Shadow Army had just won the week before, and they had probably just like counted the deck out, and then like they had to get like just a bunch of testing against it in
And
a
if you don't
week.
have a good testing partner, that's not
Hmm.
necessarily going to be advantageous.
Yeah,
The number of
yeah.
Kaisel
So
sneaks
when
you get away with when you shouldn't is actually crazy.
hmm yeah, like
Mhm.
one of my opponents who was playing Kenshin, like he read all my cards and he still misplayed against it. Like he still was at one life and then he played 4Ks. He still pushed my Jinwoo back, so I got a fifth attack again. You know, it was pretty favorable.
So maybe as like a last closing out topic, what sets are we all looking forward to for the rest of the year?
I'm gonna start this one. Me, Chainsaw Man.
Yeah.
I love it. It's my favorite IP. I've been testing 3 out of the 4 decks. My main issue with it right now is, well, I'm not gonna go into it too far, but I don't like one matchup for the deck that I'm probably gonna play. But I'm really super excited for it. Super.
What about you, Spencer?
I'm excited for Slime just because it's like deck builder's paradise. Especially if you're trying to play blue Slime. There are a lot of builds, and I think the new card pushes it. I think in a tier 1. I mean, we'll see how it plays out. The card's brand new, right? So
It
I'm just
reads
waiting a full
well.
week.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it reads well. It
Mhm.
does a lot for the archetype. I'm excited for Bleach Volume 3. I'm a little nervous about Bleach Volume 3.
Tier 0.
Uh, I like, sometimes I used to think that like, oh, if a set has a volume 2, it's gonna be like, they're gonna be the best decks. But then, like
Yeah,
JJK
we've
Volume
seen
2
some of
came
them.
out,
Yeah.
Right.
right? Like, what was
Hunter
that?
x Hunter
Like,
Volume 2 is even worse.
Oh
exactly.
I
Like,
man.
mean,
Yeah.
Demon Slayer
so
Volume
it's
2 didn't do much either.
but this is a
Yeah.
volume 3 now,
Yeah.
right? So if it's just
Yeah.
literally adding help to all the decks, that's a little scary to me.
There's so many that are
Um,
so close.
I would say we haven't
so
seen a good
close.
blue deck since Sukuna, so like that's another reason I'm so pumped
Mhm.
for Slime is I want to see another good blue deck. But Josh will be the first one to say that he thinks blue bleach is 1 or 2 cards away
I
from
I
being
think it's
very
it's
competitively
very some very
viable.
impressive effects. It just needs a little bit more speed to it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I like Blue Bleach too. I have a lot of games with that, and
Mm.
I feel like it is pretty good into some decks. But yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's just a little bit more. I mean,
Same thing with yellow bleach. I think the
scary.
Bambi's list
Yeah.
is a really solid. I was big on the
Mhm.
zombie deck because again, recursion not being so impacted by the special trigger, which is
Mhm.
the boogeyman of Union Arena. It's like I swung at you and I lost my board. Okay, that sucks. But now when I have recursion, my units that are dying are coming back. I feel like it's not as oppressive. So I feel like yellow bleach is also right there where it could use one or
Yeah.
two more cards, maybe even a zombie affinity, or actually even another
If I got like a
name,
searcher,
Bambi
Mm.
name.
if I got a
Oh man,
Yeah.
searcher and
searcher.
another zombie that does a good thing,
Yeah. Uh,
there it is.
Bambi's
Yeah,
everywhere.
Yeah. It'd
Yeah.
be
yeah,
pretty
definitely.
good.
Yeah.
Pretty good. I agree. Yellow being the only color that didn't get anything off the binder set, I feel like that was kind of on purpose. They were like, if we
Volume
give
three is gonna help
Bambi's,
it.
Mhm.
yeah, if we give Bambi something, ooh, it's gonna push it like a little bit too much. But I was also really excited about Blue Bleach. I was gonna play it, and then I realized that I missed my opportunity to buy binders. So I was like, I'm just never gonna afford these cards.
And
So yeah, that's the only reason why I don't play Blue Bleach.
we'll see if they
This is
fix
our
that in
first
Volume
volume
3.
3, right?
I
Yeah.
Yeah.
hope they reprint the volume, the binder cards, and
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
like
they were
commons or something.
talking.
I'm fine with not the nice art, but just
Yeah,
having
I'm
the
all
Yeah.
for
accessibility to the
agree.
cards, especially as the
Yeah.
game keeps growing. I feel like we've had a lot of people joining Union Arena. The Florida regional was now the biggest regional we've had with almost 400 people. So the game keeps growing. If we can get to 700 people, we get 9, 10 rounds. I think Union Arena's in a good spot for growth at the
Yeah.
moment.
I agree. I
Josh, you
think
didn't say what you're looking forward to.
Well, I
oh
was
yeah.
Spencer stole. I was gonna say Bleach Volume 3 because I think there's so many decks that are like 2 cards away from being absolutely bonkers. But I'll take Byakuya support. I'll take green support. I'll even take the blue support. I don't care. Just give me a bleach deck. I love bleach.
Nice.
I'm
Yeah.
excited for Grimjack. I want a
Oh
blue deck.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Whatever
I've
color it
wanted the
is.
wrong
Yeah.
card deck for so long. I want an
I
Aizen deck,
know.
Mm.
let's be real. He's like the best
Yeah,
character ever.
Yeah. Oh,
I
that's true.
want super
yeah.
oppressive Aizen deck sounds great to me.
All right, we
Sometimes I
all
get a
can
little
dream.
sad. Yeah, sometimes I get a little sad that the Bleach we got is, Thousand Year Blood War, because I really want like all the old Bleach stuff. Like I want
Yeah.
Ulquiorra.
Ukyo
I
Mundo.
Mm,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hueco Mundo. I want Grimmjow. I want Aizen, but yeah, I'll take Thousand
yeah.
Year Blood War.
Volume 4, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't know
Eventually.
if they'll go backwards. For me, I think slime again is I'm really looking forward to building with that. Like you said, deck builder's paradise. I've been building decks since I was little. I play deck building card games all the time. Dominion Ascension, you name it. Slay the Spire. So like just the idea that you get so many cards to work with, I feel like it should be really fun, and especially with this new meta of Union Arena where it's like the more your opponent knows your strategy, the harder it is. It worked out for me in Gundam coming in with my own unique deck list that people had never seen before. So they're like, well, what's he trying to do? And then all of a sudden, the pressure's on because it was you know, you expect me to be a blocker deck that goes into the late game, but now all of a sudden I'm attacking you with these blockers. And it's like, okay, so he's going fast now. And having a deck that has those options to go one way or the other, I feel like just gave me a superpower in the regional because my opponents don't know what I'm trying to do. And I've seen every deck that they're playing and exactly what their lines are. So I think we'll see more people following for deck lists and following for those strategies because if you're not a deck builder, I think you really should pair up with somebody who is, because if you don't build the deck, you might not play it correctly, which is a big part. I mean, I've been a big advocate for learn your deck, learn your lines. There's certain cards in that deck for certain matchups and for specific situations. And if you're not using them correctly, you're going to play the deck and be like, this feels like shit. Like, or sorry, this feels terrible. Who's gonna play this deck? And
At
it's
59 minutes.
yeah,
Yeah.
of
Too
course.
funny. Sorry,
Um,
Chris.
yeah, right. But
Um,
I
yeah.
think that if you don't know the creator of the deck, if you don't know what the intention is, you're going to be losing out on a lot of the power of the deck. And so that's why, we're talking about opening up to coaching and things like that, because if you want to get better at the game, you need to play against good players. And I feel
Mhm.
like that's been when I joined HQ. I noticed a significant increase in my playability just from like playing with Eddy, playing with Josh, hearing the other side, like, oh, you could do that, but what about this line? I was like, oh, well, that's not the way I would normally do it, but let's try it. And
Yeah.
that's when you start seeing different opportunities and different lines that you might not have thought of on your own. So I think that anyone that wants to get better at this game should, look for a team, look for some
Mhm.
of these other communities that have players that are trying to get to that next level. And that's the best way to boost yourself up.
And at least just
Yeah.
play more, keep testing. That's really what it is. And a lot of people aren't putting in the testing hours and then wonder why they're praying for the special trigger to win the game. No, just if you've seen the situation before, you don't have to rely on the trigger a lot of the time, and that can help you a lot.
Yeah. I tell my friends this all the time. You need practice, you need reps, you need to know your lines. It just practice testing goes a long way.
We had
And
6
testing
people on
against good
Shadow
players.
Army, and
Yeah.
not one of them went under X3.
Yeah.
We had every Shadow Army in the top 128. We had 3 in the top 64, 2 in the top 16. So, like, the amount of playtesting we put in and against all the different decks, I definitely think made a difference. And
Mhm.
that's something I encourage people to get out there and just try different things. Play your deck against all different types of opponents because I'm sure you guys have seen this. You show up to a regional and your first 3 rounds, people just misplay against you, and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
So like I was nervous for nothing. But you get into those later rounds and you're gonna play against people who've played these decks, played against them before, and you're gonna start
Mhm.
seeing I mean, sometimes you see misplays in the final, but
Sometimes you misplay in the finals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Repeatedly.
yeah,
Uh,
and sometimes it comes down to the deck list is good, whether the player is
Yeah.
operating at 100% or not, the deck can be very good, and that's where I think the strength of these meetups where we get people together and we get to talk about this card versus that card. And I hope we get to work with you more, Spencer, because I think you have a really creative approach to deck building, and I think that it really works.
Yeah, I agree. I
Thanks.
think
Um,
yeah, your deck building was really creative, and also the way you chose about like playing Shadow Army, like trying to go first, establishing yourself. I took a lot of that from you as well. Like when I was like I saw your video, and then you explained like your deck, what you did, your matchups, how you felt into them, and I was like, pretty good, pretty good. I took a lot from that.
yeah, and I was also struggling with the I want to go first with Shadow Army, and Josh says I want to go second with Shadow Army, and trying to blend those two ideas together so that we were good whether we went first or second
Yeah,
was one of the
Yeah.
biggest challenges. But I do think
yeah,
that in this meta, the taking first away from our bad matchups, the Kenshin matchup, the Saito matchup, I think it's just too critical that if you don't know what your opponent's on, you just have to go first.
yeah. I
Maybe
agree.
pre Sakamoto, I definitely think Josh's strategy worked well because a lot of people were just slamming out 4Ks, and the idea is take 2 turns build and then put out an entire board of 4s like Yellow
Yeah.
does, or build up into that spear and start dropping bodies. But with Sakamoto and the Yahiko coming out with Kenshin, I think that at least for me, the Shadow Army strategy is still going to be go first.
I agree. I remember when
And I don't
Josh
play a
was
lot of
like,
decks that like to go second.
yeah, yeah, that
What was that,
too.
Eddie? Well,
I remember Josh was like, "Oh, I prefer to go second," and then you said that, and then Josh said that the Kenshin matchup was rough, and then Spencer said that he prefers to go first, and then he was like, the Kenshin matchup wasn't too bad. I made that conclusion. I was like, okay, he likes to go first, Kenshin isn't too bad. He likes to go second, Kenshin is bad. So I was like, I think I'm just gonna start going first from now on.
Yeah. I was just gambling there wasn't going to be that much Kenshin in that tournament, and it worked out for me. But
Yeah.
but any final remarks, Spencer? We really appreciate you giving us all this time.
Mhm.
I don't think so. I'm excited to continue to meet new people and play against you guys in person.
Yeah.
Hopefully not in the round, but right next to each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or in the
Yeah.
See you in
finals.
the
We could
final,
play.
yeah.
Or,
Yeah,
or
we could
side
play the
event the day before
finals.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want the one good thing about winning is it helps you pay for more events. So
Yeah.
I'm hoping to go to all of the Wave 2 events. We'll see where they are. I'm a teacher, so I have summers off, so it's really easy to go to events right now.
Nice.
Oh, that's
Um,
nice.
a little bit harder in the fall when I'm like really busy, but we're gonna do my best.
Yeah,
Awesome.
you telling me
Yeah.
about that red eye where you're flying out, barely sleeping, playing in the regional, and then leaving from the regional. I was like, man, that is hardcore.
And he wins anyway, so you know what? More
Yeah,
power
yeah.
to him.
Yeah.
Sleep's overrated.
Some people just have it,
Yeah,
dude.
built
Just
different,
have
you
it.
know.
He's him.
All right, guys. Before we
Mhm.
drag it out anymore, let's just say our goodbyes. I really appreciate it again. You taking the time, Spencer. Any last remarks, guys? No.
Yeah,
Team
No.
thank
Shadow
you,
All right.
Army,
So Team
Spencer.
guys.
Shadow, Team
Yeah.
Shadow Army, and then apparently Team Slime to come.
Yeah.
Yeah,
See
let's
you
Catch
at
you,
go.
catch you
next,
later, guys.
Spencer.
All right, peace.
Bye, guys.
Goodbye.